Welcome back, everybody, to Ryan and Rich Does Stuff. I got that right, man? It's been the whole
Well,
holidays. Did I get that right? Is
I,
that what doing?
yeah. Welcome to
Does
2024
I
also,
know.
man.
We haven't talked, we haven't recorded, we haven't been hanging out for like 3 to 4 weeks because
I know
of
it's,
life and travels.
yes, definitely. But we're back. We're back here for you.
And guess what this is? This is a very special Christmas episode. Well, actually, it's not a Christmas episode. It's a very special New Year's episode. Folks,
Yes.
we have multimedia this up. We are going to be running our Core Wars. So you'll hear us chatting about it, but we have a video piece to go along with this. So when we're done and we've posted this, we'll post a link to be able to watch the video if you're interested in watching Core Wars and looking at the code and what we talk about. If not, maybe this us talking will soothe you to sleep.
Well, hopefully it doesn't soothe you to sleep and you're here because you're interested. But this is our exploration of Core Wars probably over the last couple of months on and off.
Yeah.
I know I've iterated through a couple different warriors, as they
Ryan's
say.
done much more than me.
Well, yeah, and I tried to dig into like some different strategies
Yeah.
and how does this language actually work and what is it like? I am very entry level into this.
And
It's an assembly language. So anyone's familiar with assembly, which I can't imagine a lot of people are, but it's very interesting. I know it's been new to me.
I didn't get that. Could you?
And yeah, it's been great. So assembly, for those that don't know, is pretty much a step up from machine code for a machine, and it's like gives you some basic understanding of how to move this basic instructions, moving an instruction from one location to another. Go ahead and run it, and then it'll then do the next one. So it's there's a lot going on here.
I know, and it's pretty amazing. Not only is there a people playing it and newcomers, there's so much out there that reminds me when I'm looking at it like the old internet. It's like even the people that are posting information or posting things. There's by the way, there's huge GitHubs with a lot of resources. There's a great online guide. And dear listener, if you're thinking we're going to talk about a bunch of things in our life or other things, this may not be the episode. I think we're going to be focused right on Core Wars. So,
Yes.
It's everything has been sent over to Ryan. Ryan is going to be running this, and Ryan will be sharing and talking about the code. Ryan, how are you running Core Wars?
I have my Amiga 4000 tower all set up here behind me. For those that are following on in the video, you can actually see the other monitor, and that's right now is a screensaver on, but it's a Motorola 68040. I've got 60 mega RAM in this thing at this point. It's definitely has some upgrades.
Wow.
Yeah, the max on board is 18 megabytes of RAM. So one of the cards I have in here to give me really nice video networking, gives me extra memory, a USB port actually. So it's definitely had some upgrades. But the CPU is still a Motorola 68040 from early 1990s.
Well, I love the
running it.
fact we're on an Amiga because as I was doing research, I would run into pages that would refer back to rec.games.corewar on news groups. So anybody listening that's old enough to understand news groups, hoorah, you've made it. You're passing life. You've made it this long.
Yes.
All the new youngsters, think of a Discordish kind. I can't even call it Discord. What the hell would you call news groups?
I would link to them for me.
A
They're
modern.
more like a Reddit. They're Reddit groups.
Oh, that's a really great way to look at it. Thank you, Ryan. They're like Reddit back in the day. That's where we all went. Alt.blank.blank.bad news and alt.computers.learning and alt.networking or alt.banyan. I remember all sorts of those. I think alt.2600 is obviously how they got their name because of their news group. But all right, I'm rambling now, and we're promising Core Wars battles. And
We
we've
are.
got 3 warriors each, and I got a bonus 4 that I want to share.
Okay, cool.
And you have at least 3. So I say, what are the ground rules? What'd you pump into the computer for the rules?
We're using the standard defaults for Core Wars, which means we have, and I'm going to talk about, as I'm going over this, I'm going to explain what each of these components are for those that are following along at home. We're using 8 kilobytes of, I guess it's right around 8 kilobytes. So it's 8,000 bytes of core memory.
Boy,
So
I hope I
how
did that right.
that's the default engine. So if you pass in no parameters, that's what you get. That's pretty good in that aspect. So how this memory works is when your program is running, you do not get to actually tell it where in the memory it's going to be. It's all relative from where you are. So if something's going to jump ahead 4 bytes, it just goes ahead 4 from where it is or back 4. And when the memory gets to the end, it'll just roll over back to the beginning. So there's no defined place to be able to do like stick memory. So that's pretty important to know.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we're doing that. We're using the standard 94 instruction set, which I'm not using anywhere near all of it. I think there's like 17 or 19 instructions, I believe. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. So there's a small number, being able to like move things around, run things. We can use, it's not really a pointer, but you can use address labels and things. You'll see some of that in my code, especially the later ones where I'm saying jump to a point, a name, and it'll actually go to that point and it actually does some of the math for you. So you don't have to remember subtract 4 bytes or, jump back 4 lines or ahead 4. Let's see what else we got. I think that might be about it. I think that's pretty much it. We're ready to go. And so what's going to happen is we're going to have that. The Amiga is set up to be able to run 10 iterations of each warrior fighting. You get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. It'll point us at the end and tell us which warrior won that grouping of 10. For those following along on the video later in life, we have an iPad pointed towards that screen right now, and you'll be able to see the iteration. It's going to show the memory usage at that time and which programs are actually talking to it in a red and green fashion.
Well, let's get this battle going.
All right. So I'm going to start with I call this my experiment one.
Okay.
Which is probably my simplest one. We'll start with that one as my first warrior. And then, Rich, you've got 4 here.
Alpha. Go with Alpha. Alpha was I'm reading tutorials and I'm writing things and I'm pressing buttons. Alpha has not turned out to be a very substantial warrior.
All right.
Alpha has turned out to be a learning experience, but it's like your first baby. It's your first little creation. It's your hello world. So I had to bring Alpha to the party.
Okay. I'm going to bring up your Alpha code that we can share that with folks first.
Okay, let me go. And boop. I am now showing the Alpha code. There it is. I have no idea what it does. I know.
No idea what it is.
Now I'm interested. There's lots of questions I might have. Like I can tell I'm adding, and then I'm making a move, and then I'm making a jump, and then I'm dropping in some data, and I'm jumping again, and I'm moving again. And for some reason, I'm not too sure this program repeats. I don't know. I think it maybe just makes a blotch. It makes another blotch, but sometimes it wins, and I don't understand why it wins sometimes. What do you see in this code? Because you know way more than I do. Everyone, I tried, but you'll see later I just cheated a bunch. Okay, go on.
All right. So your add, you have that little hash mark in front of the 4.
Yeah.
So that's saying take the value of 4 and add it into the B location 3 instructions forward.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're adding 4 to this. You have a DAT66, DAT66, or like 66. So you have an A value. Each instruction has an A and a B value. The default is adding it into the B. So when this thing adds, it'll say, oh, we're going to go ahead and add 3 or add 4 to that 66. So it'll start off as 70. That's the first thing it's doing. It's incrementing that. You'll see a move to at 2. So it's moving the 2 instructions forward, which is now that DAT 66, 70 to this location. Now I get confused. That at thing, I believe that is going to be to the location number referenced in the B location of that 66. Assembly's hard.
That's exactly what I meant for it to do, Ryan.
Awesome. I'm looking up now to see what the at symbol actually tells me.
Literally, I just started poking around, and for those, we've talked about this. You can download this on your computer. You don't have to play it on an Amiga, right? Back in the day.
Yeah.
So I would be going through the manual and putting these commands in and watching things happen. And then I would just make tweaks. Obviously, there's a lot of 2s in there. I'm not too sure why there's a lot of 2s, but I like the number 2. And
Perfect.
I just started going with it. Alpha does not win very often anymore. So
Okay.
I'm not expecting great things out of this, but we don't know till we push it through.
Right. And then you have the jump -2, which says go back to instructions.
Yep.
So you're moving your program counter back. So it's going back to the add. So I really think the code after this DAT 66 is dead code. I don't think it ever gets executed.
Okay. That's going to come into play maybe a little bit later. When we get to another bot, that may come into play.
Perfect. So that's your robot. I can paste mine at the bottom of yours.
Yep.
Here.
Do it.
Bam.
Oh, look at you. You have like comments and shit in yours.
I have comments and stuff in here. So this is my start. I'm going to get rid of a space here that I don't need. And so that's telling me, go ahead. This org says go to start. Starts the label that I'm using to say start the application. This is moving the value 10 to one location before it. This then moves the instruction 2 locations at 2 back.
Yeah.
To be less than, which I believe is to move it 5 locations earlier, and then jump back to the start.
Oh, I like this. We both have a very simple, elegant application to begin with.
Yep. And then I say end. So look, my program's done.
I don't even tell my computer to finish.
Yep.
So
So
leave it on.
Oh,
I need to go. Let me go back to the image. Let me go back.
Oh, sure. Yep.
All right. We're back on the Amiga. I know we're doing a whole big multimedia production. We normally don't do this.
This is great. I love it. So back here, I have on the bottom window here, I have my Amiga queued up. It's going to do 10 iterations. It's going to display it on the Amiga high-res video format. The first robot or the first warrior is mine. The second one will be yours. And as you'll see in a second here, when the screen changes, that we start executing code.
Oh, look at this. Oh, we're definitely going. And it's I really love the way both our programs almost complement each other on just a few little dumps and jumps. Nothing. Yep. And by the way, am I the top color and you're the bottom color?
Yes, because you're moving forward and my program actually moves backwards.
Yeah.
To the memory.
And folks, his program is very meshed. It looked like it was really tight, and mine looked like it was going all over the place, and really taking up a lot of space. How did we turn out? I mean, you got the results in front of you.
I do. What is your bet? What's your guess here?
Oh, you have to have won, dude. That's all there is to it. You have to have won. I am so beyond my brain power on this. How did it go?
I won 3 of the 10 and you won the other 7.
What?
Yes.
Alpha. You go, Alpha Bot. I love you, Alpha Red. I am amazed. I am literally amazed. Do you have any insight, Ryan, as to why Alpha did a good job?
No. My gut feeling is that and based on what the mapping we saw, you're actually going through faster. So you're actually going like every 4 bytes. I think that's what yours says. Yeah, you're shipping through every 4 bytes and then dropping a DAT. So when a warrior gets to a point where there's no instruction there, or there's just a data instruction, that thread of the warrior dies. It just is like, oh, I can't do anything. And I say the term thread, and that'll become relevant with my other two applications.
I'm
So,
ready to move on to second bots.
all right. So you're going by fives.
Oh, I need
think
to write
I'm
this
at-
down. Hold on. We need to write this
I'm-
down so we can have it in reflection.
And mine's
Alpha?
actually going by -1s.
What was
so
the
I'm
name
going
of
a lot
yours?
slower.
Experiment. What was it?
I called it Ryan-experiment.
Ryan experiment got 3. No draws. Very interesting.
draws.
No draws.
Nope.
And draws do
No.
happen, folks. It's like playing football in Europe. Draws happen.
It does. With mine, I believe hitting every memory location, there won't be a draw. So I will die or I will kill you.
Ah, gotcha.
The draws happen when you're skipping around generally. All
Then
right.
I'm going to say, Beta, you can go next. Or do I want to bring up code? Let me bring up the code screen so we can see
All right.
what we're looking at together.
Holy, I'm not even, wow, that's a lot of code, dude.
All right, I just stole this. I just stole it. Charlie's back. I got him misordered, Ryan. I wanted to go Alpha Charlie, then show you Beta. And or I wanted to go Alpha Beta and show you Charlie, but I mislabeled them. Beta is completely stolen code. I got into this idea that there are all these different styles of code warriors. And I like vampires. I like vampire movies. And so then I started researching this vampire style. And brother, I made heads nor tails out of it. I went through some of the online, wikis and things. And then I just found this one. And I said, well, let's see how it does. And it kicks my butt pretty good. So
Yes,
we can run this one, but do expect it's probably going to win. And by the way, I am perfectly happy not running this until you have something later. If you want to skip to Charlie, that is the last iteration of my brain when it comes to me really going through the instructions and making my own commands.
all right, let's do.
I know. I got a ringer, everyone. I brought a ringer.
I'm curious what happens with Beta, because I have not tried against a vampire type. I know mine dies spectacularly. There are several different types of warriors. So there's like a rock one where it's just going out there and dropping like bombs.
Mhm.
The dwarf is kind of in that category. The dwarf's the basic one, or just goes out and just start dropping things in memory, different data locations to try to like bomb your opponent's program. That's a basic one. There's a paper one. My program dies spectacularly to paper.
Interesting.
So that it's going to replicate itself and then go out there and have a whole bunch of copies of itself. And that's why I used the term threading earlier. So you can have multiple instances running and they just rotate between them all. And then Scissors is going out and trying to find the paper stuff and cut them. Try to like get rid of that application.
Notice this is very similar, Beta. And I have no idea what style this is programmed as. This is very similar to Alpha. That you can tell this is a second iteration. Now, I hate to say, Ryan, since I've made this, I don't remember why I was doing Jin. I don't remember why I was doing jams at all. But I started making a more advanced bot, and Charlie actually does pretty good for me in my testing. He'll draw. Charlie will draw and occasionally win against some of the default warriors.
All right, so DJN is a command called decrement and jump, if not 0.
Okay.
So it's going to decrement the number by 1. That's why I say you're going at -1.
Yeah.
So you won't be 0. I'm betting that's why you picked that.
Yes.
And then it'll jump unless the result is 0. So you're always going to decrement, and then you're going to jump back probably 3 instructions or probably 4 instructions. A lot of this stuff, again, hurts my head because I didn't use that one at all.
Now notice I start with a DAT 0 and I end with a DAT 955. Mm-hmm. I'm not too sure why I did that.
Right, because you wanted to.
Okay. That was.
I don't really know.
I'm looking at it right now going, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I'm not too sure, but that's Charlie, and this is the last version of my brain.
Okay. So this is I'm going to show you this is my normal one. This is
So
the
this
one
is this Ryan?
Yep, this one's going to be Ryan.
Warrior Ryan.
Yep.
Oh
So,
my, you got a long one here, buddy.
yep. So what am I doing is I'm keeping some values here that I'm going to reference later in life. Some like how far am I going to how many instructions am I stepping over at a time? Like this is kind of a dwarfish modified. So I was reading and saw a lot of winning warriors incorporate two different things together. So that's what this is. This is a dwarf with a being able to have multiple copies. So it replicates itself.
Wow.
And then has multiple dwarfs going out there. And then I've hard coded in memory locations for where to jump off into how far to jump.
I'm very disappointed there's not a 4200 in there, but we'll be okay with that.
Well, I didn't go for the humor factor. I unfortunately was trying to split up the 8K of memory. And then I have like a for loop in here and doing all kinds of crazy math. And then this is the clone stuff. So it's where it's cloning the dwarf. So this is a basic dwarf, which you should look for somewhat familiar.
Oh yeah,
so
it's only like 4 lines of code. The dwarf is so beautifully elegant.
Yep. So all of this is to clone this thing 3 more times so that there's 4 of them working in parallel.
I never understood multi-threading till the threading till right now. I read about it. I just wasn't getting it, but now I'm getting what that does. I can't wait to see this run.
Yes. So
okay? Let me switch back. Let me get rid of code.
So that's right.
All right.
All right, and we need what, Charlie?
Yes, take Charlie. Otherwise, it's just an unfair advantage.
Well, I'm curious to see what beta is going to happen. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're watching the screen here. Oh, look at those patterns! Wow!
So I'm splitting my memory.
Oh, look at that. Folks at home, what's happening on the screen is you see 4 rows of his warrior propagating, and you see me start in one area, and then I run into his, and the game starts over. How'd that turn out?
I won all 10 matches.
Oh, Ryan, you smoked me with the multi-threading. That was incredible. Okay. Not that I want to run this for any reason except for, how about Ryan experimental against Charlie just for fun?
Oh, sure.
Let's just see that. Because those two look a little bit more together, but you can definitely see, folks, that my Charlie copies that alpha idea that I start in one area and propagate out, but it doesn't go as fast as alpha did because it is going backwards. And Ryan's wasn't let's watch. Let's see what happens. So Charlie versus alpha, Charlie versus experimental. Look at that. Oh, you started right. Oh, you got me. You're squishing me. Oh, look at that. Oh, I think my alpha is good. Probably the champ of that. I think you got that one too. How did Ryan experimental do against Charlie?
I won 9. You got 1.
Oh, right. I got 1. See, folks, I was totally shocked when alpha beat Ryan experimental, but now that we've gone back and looked at what I put a little bit more brain power into, it fails. So the one I put no brain power into does really good. The one I actually go, let me try some things, I do terrible. Now, I should have learned to multi-thread my Charlie to where I could have been doing that same thing in a couple spots. That would have been cool.
What's great about the multi-threading is if one of the threads dies, your program continues to execute. So they have to kill all of the threads to actually kill your warrior. So that's what gives it some resiliency as well.
Nice. Okay. Why don't you take Beta for a ride? Let's put Beta on something. Now it's a vampire.
Well, I want to show. Do you want to?
I want Beta against Ryan. I want to see. Oh, you have a third one. What else do you have hiding back there, buddy?
I have a modified version of Ryan.
Are you going to try it against Beta?
Yeah, we can.
All right,
we can do that.
And then we can go back.
Yeah, if you remember all the code where I'm actually hard coding locations.
Yeah.
I'm not anymore.
Oh, let me go to
And
code. Let me bring up code. Let me bring up code so we see that on screen. Okay, there we go. Tell us what you're thinking.
so this is still doing the start because that's consistent across everything here. So now I have a label for like where my it's called paper. So where the paper
Um,
it's a paper style thing of cloning. So it's a lot less code to try to and a lot less math to figure out what are you actually cloning. And then your cloned code down is the same thing. It's still a dwarfy thing. And then I have a bomb location. So I'm actually using labels so then I can use them inside the application and it'll automatically do all the math and point towards those labels.
you're too smart. You're smarter than me.
So this one, my Ryan one, only makes 4 threads.
Yep.
My main continues making threads until it dies. And then each one of the threads go off and does a dwarf. There is problems with that. How threading works is you only get one instruction at a time, and it'll automatically reference what thread you're going to, like which one's next. So if you get 10 threads out there, your opponent's program gets 10 cycles of execution before
versus your one.
versus because each one will get one cycle. Like my program gets one cycle, yours gets one cycle,
Ooh, I
and
want to
vice
see
versa.
that.
So it should be pretty interesting.
Yes, we gotta pit that against my other two warriors too. I have a feeling my problem is I definitely didn't jump out into other areas, so we're gonna see that I get cornered and lose is my guess. But if you want to try mod against my beta, which is illegal because I just copied.
All right.
Copied and modified. You know how that works. I screen scraped.
Perfect. So
let me go back. Shoot, let me go back. Hold on.
Mine are all I'm using examples, but then I'm trying to understand it myself and then put them together myself.
Yeah, I just copied and altered. And I'd read what a thing did and say, "Oh, I'm going to try that."
I spent a lot of time trying to understand what all the little symbols mean, like the at symbol, the greater than, the less than, the bracket. They all have different meanings, like which the A or the B memories are going to modify. Is it going to be increment first, decrement first? Then there's a lot going on there. Are you ready for the program?
Press enter. I want to watch this.
All right.
All right. Oh, wow. Yours
did
a lot of work. Oh, look at that. I don't even know how to explain this to the audience. You see a lot of threading happening, and you see a lot of his color everywhere, and there's like a solid wall of mine coming up, and it almost looks like we jumped over each other. It's like I kept going one way, you kept going another way, and we just passed each other in the night and then start to overlap again. It's running 10 games at once, everyone. So we're not too sure when a game's ending and starting and things. Was that one game, Ryan?
Yeah, that was one game.
Take about a minute?
Yes.
Wow, look at this.
I think your beta is going to I've seen this when I was testing against a paper example that yours takes a while, but it just destroys me because I don't handle that.
Know. And again, folks, this is not one that I've written. We're going to definitely have to try mod beta against Charlie or Alpha and see how those look. But right now we are getting some long battles on this, and you can just really see these guys working around each other, trying to fill up memory and make the other person step in the bomb.
Yeah, I think yours is doing a pretty good job of it. You definitely have memory usage all over the place and build things pretty rapidly.
Yeah,
it's a rapid growth. I'm kind of impressed.
Well, I'd be impressed with someone else and just be impressed that I stole what they did and played around with it. That's all.
Okay.
Which it really isn't impressive, everyone. That's just like I got a Delta I brought to the party. And I know you talked about doing some dwarf. So I researched paper. And so Delta should be a paper to test against. Because I had a feeling everything I brought was going to just die. So I figured I'd bring you some challenge. While this one's finishing, I will tell you, I went to ChatGPT and it writes incredibly bad warriors. That's all there is
Does it?
to it. I tried pinging it and making it do things for me and asking it to do, hey, I want one that replicates and jumps, and gave it parameters of where to start and things on those lines. It just never really gave me a warrior that was consistent, that worked. I don't know
Oh wow.
what that was. Maybe I just didn't, garbage in, garbage out, the rule, right? So if I'm not
Yeah.
asking right, I have a feeling I'm not getting right.
Well, I'm betting also that ChatGPT probably hasn't really been trained all that much on Core Wars. It's not a common thing.
Yeah. It would
So,
start giving me revised code in my sessions based on earlier comments that I'd made to it earlier in the chat. It was really kind of weird. But I don't use ChatGPT a bunch, but I figured, oh, I'd love to bring an AI bot against you. And I never really got there. So that's kind of where
okay.
beta ended up. Was I wanted an AI version to be able to, like, ChatGPT just took you on, but I couldn't get one that was successful out of ChatGPT. I think we might be done, folks.
Oh,
How'd
we
it
are
go?
a little better than I expected. I still lost overall.
Oh,
I
wow.
won. I won 4 of them,
Wow.
and yours won 6.
Okay, you should be very proud, because I obviously took that off the back of someone else's hard work.
Okay.
And you had no preparation for that, and I'm learning, almost got a 50% win rate against it.
I'll take it.
That's pretty good. All right, now you got to throw mod beta against alpha. That's going to be ugly.
You want your alpha versus your beta?
During your beta, your what you called it, mod beta, the one we just fought against. What was that one called?
Oh, it's just called my option because I was playing around
Option.
with.
All right, let's
OPT.
run alpha against option.
Oh, your alpha?
Yeah,
Is that
my
your first
alpha. That's my first one against your option.
Okay.
It's going to kill it. I have a
think
feeling we're going to watch an immediate. That looks beautiful, everyone. Again,
Yes.
he is all over the board. And you can see where I start trying to build a nest. I have a feeling I'm getting suffocated. What do you think?
I would think so because I'm seeing my main. You can see where the main memory is for the first program, and mine doesn't ever change. So yeah, mine won all 10 of those.
Oh, Ryan, run option against beta. I mean, Charlie,
It's your
run
beta.
option against Charlie. So
I'm gonna bet it's gonna be similar, but let's do
I
it.
have a feeling it is, because what happened last time, Charlie got wiped out by your main one. Ryan, the main one you built,
Yeah.
just wiped Charlie out, 0. This one looks a little different, folks. Okay. You know what? It's you're getting me. And unless I can squeeze around one of your first threads, I'm usually out in the first mix. This one's going a long time. We must be on different addressing. See, look, I'm getting stomp. And let's see what the results are.
It's the same. I got all 10 of them.
10-0. Okay. Well, I need to go back to the drawing board, and I need to learn to take my alpha beta and learn to multi-thread them, is what I need to do. Now, if the ultimate challenge I thought I was bringing to the game was Delta against your bomber, against your dwarf-like, would you want to try Delta against there and see how Delta does? And that is completely a vampire stealing from someone.
Okay. I've not tried vampire. I know I have issues with paper pretty badly.
Oh, no,
Let me
I'm
see
sorry.
what-
Delta is the paper. Delta is
Okay.
a paper. So I bought that. I brought Delta on purpose just to test it against yours, because I expected 10-0 against every one of mine. And by the way, you did incredibly well on the one where I stole basically 80% of what was going on. That was I only got 6
You got
wins
6.
out of the 10. But again, I brought you pro work against your work on beta. That was pro work against you. All right. What do you want to do? Delta's going against which one first?
I'm just gonna go against my OPT.
Option. Got it. Let's see how it goes.
And here we go.
I love these patterns. And it's weird to see
Whoa.
memory. Look at the way it looks like there's almost a caterpillar running across the screen as boxes are being filled.
Reminds me of like Snake or Centipede or how they're filling out the little thing coming across.
Now, I know the
This-
Matrix did incredibly well with the numbers dropping, but this is very similar to that kind of feel, but they go left to right.
Yeah, exactly.
They totally could have done a core. Wow, is this thing timing out at all?
They're still
I-
battling.
Folks, I'm not even too sure we've started a battle again.
Yeah, I
This
think we're still
is-
on the first one.
And again, everyone, I brought Delta to the game as a ringer completely. Beta was, let me get some code, modify it, and try and do a few things, and still working off the sweat of someone else's brow. Whereas Delta is, I just took someone's really good work, made 2 changes, and moved on.
I think we started the second one.
Oh, geez, that was a long run. If that was
Yeah, I
it.
think they're all going to be like that. Especially this is paper based. I'm pretty expecting that to be.
Now, why are you seeing this length in your mind? Or what's happening here? Why is Paper and Bomb taking so long to wrap up?
Because there's a lot of different threads going on, so you got to kill them all. And until you can kill them all, the program doesn't end yet.
Oh,
Remember, I made a whole bunch of them. At some point, I can see my memory location. The first one always starts. The memory location is always up here in the top, but I can see those colors changing. So that means the main one of mine that's actually cloning new ones
yeah.
gets overwritten, so it's no longer going to be functioning. So it's just whatever it made at that point has to go live on.
So as soon as your original creation tool dies, the other threads will die out occasionally. As long as your thread creation tool lives, no matter if you kill those other legs, new threads are starting.
100%.
Oh, that's scary.
And so, yeah, every time the main gets through its loop, it'll create another one. So as more and more get created, less and less will be created.
So until I
But
can find your main,
Yes.
you are just a spider cranking out eggs.
Pretty much.
Now,
And I think yours is working the same way, though.
Yeah.
A paper, that's the concept of a paper, is to make a whole bunch of things and then go do stuff, right?
100%. I'm watching in the code where it says, copy this. Every
Yeah.
turn it's doing a copy. So that's why we're ending up with such brilliant patterns of memory usage that it is beautiful looking. At one point, it almost, folks, reminds me of, those Christmas sweaters, how they have the pixelated designs that'll go along them, showing a reindeer and a sled. There's some beauty in there around that. Now, why do we have an area in memory opening back up? Is that because threads are dying?
I think it's somebody's deleting the memory, or setting them as the DATs in there to be 00.
Oh, I have a DAT 0 drop. I do.
Yes. So when it's a 0, that means there's nothing. That's what it gets initialized to. So when you hit 0 again, then there's nothing to display because that's the default.
Ryan, I think you picked a great warrior against this ringer I brought to the game, because they are going at it. I think we've moved maybe into the game 6, folks. And I wonder if there's like a core. I just watched GeoGuessr have their championship event. I wonder if there's a Core Wars tournament. I saw a page that talked about it, but it didn't look like it was very current.
There are some out there. There's some that'll, as you create one, you can submit them automatically, and they'll actually just run and show the results.
Wow.
I've seen that. I'm nowhere good enough for any of that stuff. I know.
I think you should submit option, man. I think we should do a follow-up where you submit option and we see how it does.
Nah, I think I'm going to get squished like a bug. I think that's what's going to happen.
And the complexity of some of these programs I found online was really daunting. I mean, they're at first I'm learning, I'm like I'm in 4 lines of code. I'm in 10 lines of code. And then it seemed like people got to 60, 70 lines of code. And I'm like, okay, this is smarter than my poor little brain can do.
There's definitely some that are smarter than what I can do. I've looked at quite a few, and actually have a couple on here that I was testing against at the end, paper related ones. And the best I could do is draw 1 or 2. I'd lose everything else.
Wow. And I think after this one wraps up, are you ready for a grand melee?
Can we do them all at once?
Yeah. See, on the win version, I can add multiple warriors. I would throw Alpha and Charlie in with another program. I would throw Alpha, Charlie, Beta in. I would throw Beta against Charlie, and then I would bring in some of the defaulted ones that they had available on the hard drive. They had a couple, they had a Dwarfish. They had, I would throw those in and let them run
Okay.
against my programs. But you're doing a command line, so that may be a different story.
We'll find out. I'll try to pass in more warriors from the command line and see if it'll take them all. I've honestly never tried, so I don't know.
Well, then we will have an experiment here shortly.
Yes, they're still battling, and there's some really neat stuff going on. I'm not really sure what this. There's a light blue color showing up now too. I don't know if that means it's highly contested, or what's happening.
Gosh! So we've hit a new screen. It's not the kill screen, folks. I wish it was,
No.
but we have hit a new screen method. I mean, this is just the consistency of our jumping, folks. And by the way, I didn't do anything that I changed my jumping via variables. Did you do that at all?
Mine does not. I have the capability of how far to jump, but I do not change it.
That's what I did too.
all-
I thought about adding a variable to change my jump spacing, but I wasn't too sure how consistent it would be along those lines. Okay, we're done. How do we do?
Wow. I won 1, you
Wow.
won 4, and we drew 5.
Look at that. And man, you are against some real world stuff right there. You're not against my brain. You're against somebody else's brain that's smart. So that's incredible, Ryan. That's a good job, man. And this has only been you tinkering around between
Yes.
building computers and all that other, and your job and your life and your wife. I mean, you were just tinkering around with this. That is incredible, dude. You really, I'm impressed. I am very impressed.
Oh, I had some fun with it. I will say that. It's like, how does this work? So very cool.
You
So
want to
which
try a
ones-
Grand Melee?
Which ones do you want me to put in there?
I would love, you can throw Alpha and Charlie in, and
Okay.
maybe Ryan Experimental and Ryan, because I think Option's a killer. I think Option's your killer. Oh no, Ryan did really good too.
He does pretty good as well.
Yeah, he does. And throw him in. Let's watch what happens. See if you can do a multiple warrior in command line. Let's just do a Grand Melee and see which one of yours comes out on top.
Charlie.
Because I'm not coming out on top. We know that.
Oh, it does. It took all 4.
Oh, look at that. So fast too, folks. Look at that. We're 3 games in, and it is just beautiful. Oh, you can see my lines versus your lines because of the way I just build like a block going up through memory, and you skip around like a dancer going through memory. So you could say you're Muhammad Ali and I'm George Foreman.
So we had 4 warriors. I put in Alpha Charlie, Ryan Experimental, and just Ryan.
I think Ryan's going to take the cake.
So let's see, how did it go? We didn't name them right.
Uh-oh.
So Alpha drew, it says it lost 3, drew 7. Charlie it gives me 5 points or 5. I don't know what all this stuff means. Looks like Alpha got 21 points by whatever math it's using.
Yeah, we'll just go with it.
Charlie got 0.
Oh, poor Charlie. I thought that was my better bot.
Ryan Experimental got 49.
Oh, my Lord. That's awesome.
And Ryan got 70.
Wow. I'm just happy to have placed. I'm just happy to be in the top 3. Is all. Well, I guess I have to be in the top 3 no matter. At least both my bots aren't 0. That's really what I'm going to go with. They're both not 0.
No, this is really, really cool. I didn't realize I could do more than. That's actually really neat.
Well, I think that brings us to a close of Core Wars. And from anybody who's been listening over the period of time is not surprised that Ryan's Warriors were successful. And none of them are surprised that Rich bought some ringers instead of just all his. He brought some cheats. That's just the way I do. I need my hacks. I mean, my up, down, left, right, A, B, A, B. I need it. And so it was nice to see, though, even with my cheats, Ryan, dude, you held your ground really solid against those. I mean, that it's not like it was a 10-0, like Ryan against Charlie. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, Charlie got 0 in the Grand Melee too. Charlie is a loser. I need to dump that warrior. and I need to work on alpha and see where I can get alpha to go.
No, it was definitely a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the challenge. I really enjoyed learning things about it. The assembly makes my head hurt a little bit, but I'm definitely intrigued by it. Like there's so much more going on that your higher level languages just handle for you.
Yeah.
And this, you got to actually, you're doing a lot. The labels helped an amazing amount when I started moving into the labels instead of just going, oh, -2, minus. I had so many math errors. Like, why is going on? And had to figure out the debugger. So there's a debugger with this as well. So you could actually step through your code and see what it's doing and then start looking at memory locations. Sometimes it's like, why is it not where I think it is? And I had to go track down where it actually put it. And I'm like, why? There was a lot of learning here. This has been great.
Maybe we'll throw a Core Wars round 2 in. I know I'm coming out your way in April. And maybe I can work on some multi-threading. I can work on some labeling and some variables. And maybe we can have a little quick recording at your place and just bring it up on the Amiga there locally and try Core Wars round 2.
Yeah, it's been great. We can do all kinds of stuff.
Well, we have definitely exceeded our normal amount of recording time, Ryan, like we always have.
Yes, that's fine.
Any final thoughts?
No, this is awesome. I'm hoping everybody or our listener following along at home finds it entertaining, and hopefully they like our video stream at the end as well. And we'll get all that stuff put together because that's going to be a lot of fun.
I think it is. Everyone, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you're having a great new year. Talk soon.
Yes, enjoy your 2024.
Bye.
Bye.